Well, daily Arsenal content as promised, and also today we got about something about Ishak, Zabitzer, and of course the six teams that actually joined in the European Super League have actually opened up about certain things, so they had to make amends. So we are going to deal with that. We're also going to talk about something more coming up to you guys. So stay tuned for that. And if you seek daily Arsenal content, best place to be consider subscribing. The transfer window is officially open today, and the first day of the transfer window is being addressed by me. Of course, it's a second video, but let's go for it. The first news that we have is that the owners of United, Liverpool, Spurs, Arsenal will pay fines themselves. Nobody have asked them to pay, but they themselves will pay fine rather than from club coffers. Awaiting news from Chelsea and Manchester City. Now, Mark Kleinman tweets out that exclusive. The six clubs Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur have also agreed to pay fine of over £20 million each and 30 minus point deductions if they sign up to any similar European breakaway concept in the future. The six English clubs which signed up to a now abandoned European Super Club project earlier this year have agreed to pay us combined sum of over £20 million as part of a settlement by the Premier League that will be announced later today. So that's the final update about that. Moving on, so talking about one, the only Alexander Isak. If you know him, of course, according to the Athletic, Arsenal are monitoring Real Sociedad striker Alexander Isak, with Edu a big fan of the Swede. Now Arsenal monitoring the 17 goal forward Alexander Isak with a £60 million release clause. Edu rates him very highly. It is understood that Arsenal's technical director Edu rates him highly, and that he's likely to be high up on the North London club's transfer target list if they offload a striker this summer. They want the best. I do not know they want this best. I do not know. Okay, there's nothing bad about it, but yeah, I just did not know about it. Okay. What about what can I speak about Isak anymore? So one Premier League club is keeping tabs on Alex Isak's development are Arsenal. The Sweden forward is very highly rated by Edu and his recruitment team, and Isak's contract with Sociedad contains a minimum fee release clause of 70 million euros or 60 million pounds. Although Arsenal have not entered the window actively seeking a number 9, they are conscious that Eddie Nketiah and Alex Lacazette have just 12 months remaining on their contracts that could force them into the market, and Isak would be towards the top of their list. Isak's transfer status is complicated by the fact that Borussia Dortmund retain a 30 million euros buyback clause on the player they sold in 2019. Dortmund continue to monitor the situation. There is even some suggestions that they could re-sign him and flip him for a profit. Well, you know Dortmund, right? They could do it. You never know. Well, that is that. So let's not just rule out anything that's going to happen. But moving on, so Ainsley Maitland-Niles' situation is being closely monitored by Crystal Palace, who have made enquiries for the Arsenal man. Well, Charles Watts tweeted out that a club bid £25 million, which was rejected by Arsenal for Ainsley Maitland-Niles in the winter transfer window. I don't know if that could be, they could achieve, or they could actually get a bid of that sort this window. I have my doubts. Maybe wrong, but I have my doubts. All right. So let me know in the comments. Do you guys want Ainsley to go? If yes, what will be the price tag that you, according to you, will be right for Ainsley Maitland-Niles? Arsenal should get that much amount of money for Ainsley. Moving on, so Fabrizio Romano in his podcast Here We Go has actually opened up about Arsenal in detail. He says that Arsenal made a proposal. It was around 30 million euros for Emi Buendia. Norwich said no. Aston Villa's proposal was like 34 million euros with add-ons, and they said yes. Also, the proposal to the player was huge from Aston Villa. That did the trick. And talking about more things, Fabrizio said Arsenal were working together for Emiliano Buendia as a possibility, but also for Odegaard. The main priority is always Martin Odegaard. They are still focused on Odegaard to see what happens at Real Madrid with the new manager, Carlo Ancelotti. Arsenal, they would have made a new bid, an improved bid. They decided to go like this because they have different ideas, and that's the reason why Buendia was not in Arsenal's plans anymore. Well, moving on. So Willian is willing to leave Arsenal this summer, and Arsenal are open to selling him. So let's see how negotiations will go. But for sure, Willian is one of the players who can leave Arsenal. And talking about that, ladies and gentlemen, Willian has shared his location, or rather, this thing on his Instagram stories, that he is in Orlando right now. Does that mean he's actually joining an MLS team? We don't know. It might happen. It might happen. Willian might go and check out what's happening in the United States of America and would want to settle there right now. Also, Fabrizio said that Arsenal are negotiating with Marseille. Guendouzi has an agreement on personal terms with Marseille. Marseille are forcing to close the deal as soon as possible because they want Guendouzi and hope no German clubs in particular to join the race. And talking about Xhaka, Fabrizio said, yes, Mourinho wants him. They're working on it. There is still no agreement completed, but it is just a matter of details and they expect Xhaka to join. Roma are really optimistic. They say it's a matter of time. And again, Fabrizio continued. He said, Arsenal are also working to extend the contract of Emil Smith-Rowe. They are really optimistic. It will be a 5-year contract. It's just a matter of details. Then it will be signed. Smith-Rowe is staying at Arsenal. Who doubted that? I don't know. But moving on, so talking about Andre Onana, the general consensus, what exactly I believe in, Fabrizio had to say that. He says that contacts are going on with Arsenal. They are waiting for the situation of the ban. Arsenal are still in talks. They are really interested in Onana. They see him as the perfect goalkeeper, but the suspension will be the key. That is the only reason that is stopping them from getting the player. Otherwise, it would have been done by now, but still, it's not happening, and there's a big reason for it, and they're waiting for the ban. So it might take time. How long? I don't know, and I don't think so. Anyone else knows? Yeah, nobody knows. Yeah. Moving on, so sources, according to athletic.uk, sources suggest Joachim Andersen will end up at Tottenham or Arsenal. There is also interest from Manchester United. Lyon are open to listening to offers for the defender. It is expected that a transfer could be agreed for a fee in the region of £23 million. I remember Joachim Andersen and the one who plays for Brighton. What's his name? I forgot his name. They both were linked with Arsenal. They both, as a duo, actually joined a different club. So that did not happen. So, yeah, Joachim Andersen linked with Arsenal again. It was much cheaper back then. Very cheap. But before Lyon buying him, I remember him. But moving on, so okay, no problem. So Jules Koundé is high on Arsenal's list as they look to buy a right-sided centre back. But that is not a move he's likely to consider while they are not in the Champions League, according to athletic.uk. And even Sky confirmed that Spotify owner Daniel Ek looks set to increase his takeover bid for Arsenal to £2 billion. Or rather, it sounds as it may, but it looks like it's a much bigger offer than the £2 million. So let's see where that will end up. Moving on, so Jack Grealish was seen with his arm wrapped around Arsenal's Bukayo Saka in the England training at St. George's Park this morning. We don't know what that meant. It could mean that Jack Grealish is taking Saka to Aston Villa. Yes, it could. Okay. Don't underestimate the power of Aston Villa. It could mean that as well. Okay. So moving on. So as per athletic.uk, Marcel Sabitzer, who has just 1 year left on his contract, has given no indications or suggestions that he will renew his contract. So a transfer fee of 15 million euros should get him out of RB Leipzig. So if Arsenal are listening, Marcel Sabitzer, a clever midfielder, yeah? Arsenal should look into it. 15 million, mine, come on. That's like a gold mine. Okay. Moving on, so according to Di Marzio, Atletico Madrid sporting director Andre Beata is turning his attention towards Dusan Vlahovic, with the Lautaro deal looking complicated. Fiorentina is asking around 60. Fiorentina are asking around 60 million euros. So if Fiorentina are asking 60 million euros for Dusan Vlahovic, Ishak has a 70 million euros release clause. Which striker would you want Arsenal to join in? Well, only if a situation arises. Dusan Vlahovic or Alexander Ishak? That's the big question. I put this in my community tab as well. 60 million euros for Vlahovic, 70 million euros release clause for the one, the only Alexander Isak. Which striker would suit Arsenal's prospect or Arsenal's future project? Let me know in the comments what you guys feel about it. So it looks like, according to Giles Grimandi, he says that Edu Gaspar is currently in Vilamora, Portugal, celebrating his daughter's birthday. But he says that he might also be checking on Sporting Lisbon for Pedro Gonçalves. He's got 23 goals and 4 assists, attacking mid and wide forward as well. But he could also wait and check out none other than Manor Solomon, who has a, of course, there is a, Israel versus Portugal practice game. So yeah, they could actually go for that as well. So let's see if that's a possibility or not. So with this, I'd like to end this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you see daily Arsenal content, best place to be, consider subscribing. If you want to support my work but don't want to pay, it's okay. I don't have any problems with that. The best way to do that is giving a like to this episode. If you like it, like it. If you don't like it, dislike it. But comment and let me know. Dusan Vlahovic, Alexander Isak. Which one will you pick for Arsenal? I will see you in the next one. Until then, cheers.